Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This video is dedicated to the Tfsa and the three things that you absolutely need to know before opening a Tfsa and putting money into it. I'm a CPA in Quebec, Canada. I've worked in financial reporting audits, budgets and forecasting, and taxes. And now I want to be able to share that knowledge and also, just have a fun discussion about the stocks that I'm investing in, the way I see things, the way I interpret things. And anytime there's some new developments in Canada regarding taxes, corporate taxes, or commodity taxes, I just want to share that information when I think it could be relevant to the most of you. So let's get into it. The Tfsa is a investment vehicle that allows you to invest, and all the gains and dividends and returns from those investments are tax free. Now, this is a fabulous tool for anyone who's trying to gain consistent income and reinvest that income to keep it growing tax free. Now, the top three things that you should really know before getting into any of this is A, what is my contribution limit? The contribution limit is different for everyone. So if you have a sibling or friends and they tell you, oh yeah, this is my limit, it doesn't matter what their limit is. What matters is your limit. And to help you find that out, I put together a quick table which shows what your limit would look like if you had never contributed to the Tfsa. And then I'll give you some scenarios to help you understand. So in 2009, if you were 18 years old and you've never contributed to Tfsa until today, until 2022, let's say, your limit was growing. Your contribution limit, the room itself, was growing every single year. So over the years, up to 2022 in January, if you've never contributed anything, then you can contribute up to $81,500. This is a huge chunk of cash, but if you're someone who has a big bonus coming from work, or you got an inheritance and you've never contributed to your Tfsa before, this is how high you can go if you were 18 years old in 2009. Now, if you're someone who turned 18 in 2015, then your limit starts from 2015 and your room starts to grow from there. So as of 2022, your limit would be $50,500. So it's always important to, be mindful of this, because everybody's limit could be different. If you have a friend who's never contributed and he's a bit older than you, and you've also never contributed, and you're having a discussion and he says, yeah, my limit is 76,500, and because he was 18 in 2010, and your limit could be totally different because you were only 18 in 2016. So that means your limit would be 40,500. So it varies. Now, if you're somebody who's been contributing, taking money out, in and out over the years, you kind of lost track of that and you're not sure what your limit really is, a good place to start would be logging into my account with the CRA, and they will kind of compile all the bank's information regarding your trading activity, not trading activity, your investment activity in the Tfsa, and then the CRA will give you their best idea of what they think your limit is. But they do leave a little disclosure saying, if some banks fail to report transactions, then it's very possible that your limit could be different, and you, as a Tfsa holder, are the one who's responsible to really know your limit. So do your homework and make sure that you're always on top of this. Why does it matter? Because if you over contribute, your penalty is 1% every month for the over contribution. So if you over contribute it for 12 months, that would be 12% of penalties that you have to pay back to the CRA. The CRA, however, is very lenient, and they are open to hearing and understanding why you may have went over, and you have to tell them why it was an accident. But if you're a habitual line stepper and you're always over, then they won't really show you that leniency, and you will have to pay that penalty. And do not try to be a wise guy. Do not try to over contribute thinking, oh, well, it's only 12%. I'm going to invest in stock X, and stock X is going to rip 10X, and I'm going to be able to take care of that penalty. No stress. If it becomes obvious to the CRA that you deliberately contributed, they will tax 100% of your gains as a penalty, and they will tax you 12%, the standard penalty. So don't try to do anything funny, because the CRA can obviously judge when someone's doing something deliberately. Now let's go to the second biggest mistake. The second biggest mistake you can do is trying to invest in penny stocks that are not in any designated stock exchanges. Now, it is possible that you invested in a company that got delisted from a designated stock exchange. A designated stock exchange is listed on the CRA website, but it's all of the major ones. So, the Canadian National Stock Exchange, the Toronto Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange, the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, all of that is covered. All major stock exchanges are generally considered a designated stock exchange. And I can even prove it to you by just Googling it. And you will see here that, most of these stock exchanges around the world, the big ones, are all included. But over-the-counter stock exchanges in the US that are penny stocks or around the world, if they're not on this list, then you cannot invest in these stocks. The moment you invest in these stocks, you are going to have to pay a 50% penalty on the fair market value of that stock, and any gains that come from those stocks will also be subject to a penalty. So it is your responsibility. So let's say, you were invested in a, promising stock that was listed on the TSX, but then suddenly, they're found with all kinds of allegations and they're delisted from the TSX, but they're still on the OTC in the US. You need to cut that stock out of your TFSA and you need to sell it ASAP. You can sell it, you can transfer it in kind to a non-registered account, but you need to act quickly, because the CRA will charge a penalty. Now, this is the third mistake that you can do in a TFSA. This one is something that you should really try to avoid, and there's a lot of people, it caused a lot of people grief. I guess good grief, but it's still grief. It is, you cannot carry on a business in the TFSA. The TFSA is only for passive investing. So when I say carrying on a business, I mean trading. If you're a day trader, then you need to be very, very careful. The CRA does not give a clear-cut guideline as to what makes a day trader or what qualifies as day trading. But there are general rules, general theories, general concepts that you should be mindful of. So I'll go through them, and maybe you can decide for yourself, because it varies for everybody, if you're carrying on a business in the TFSA. The first thing is frequency and holding period. If you're buying and selling stocks on a daily basis and your holding period is very low, this is considered almost like a day trader business. So you need to be very careful. The second is, have you been formally trained, or informally? So have you been educated? Are you a CFA chart holder? Are you a CPA? Are you a someone who holds a bachelor's degree in finance? Or have you completed CSE courses, Canadian Securities courses? I think that's what called CSE, with the bank that you work at. Or have you been working at a bank for many years and you've learned how to do equity research? All of that will be considered to you to decide, are you someone who's a qualified tradesperson or qualified business person or a qualified trader? The third item they'll look at is, uh, are you borrowing money, financing, or even on margin to throw into your TFSA and then quickly invest? Or if you're doing this, typically normal people, they do not borrow money to invest. These are businessmen who borrow to invest. They borrow, they take the risk, and they invest. So if the CRA is seeing that you're borrowing funds to invest in your TFSA, it starts to build a case against you. Another item that they would consider is, has your TFSA portfolio grown big time? Because you took some important risks. If you're a very speculative person, they will consider that, you are day trading. So when you look at a lot of these four factors, I'm not sure if I'm missing another one. Frequency, holding, are you speculative? Oh yeah, another one would be your intention. The intention, it's hard to prove, but if you're one of those clowns who, publicize everything that you do on Instagram or Snapchat or in your stories, and you say, yeah, I bought X and I flipped it 2 days later, I made a killing, follow me. If you're one of those guys, and the CRA can pick up on that, then, they're going to build that case against you that you're a day trader. So, high frequency trading, short holding periods, you're trained in the field. You're someone who, made a killing and your account grew big time because you're very speculative. You're borrowing money to invest in the TFSA. And, if you're clowning and, bragging, and, putting it out publicly that your intention is you're a quick flipper, then all of these things come together and it really proves a case that you're carrying on a business. But all of this is a case-by-case basis. I've read articles where, people have only bought and sold 6 or 8 times in a span of 6 months, and the CRA considered that as day trading. So you need to be very mindful of what you're doing in the TFSA, because if you are caught doing a business in the TFSA, A, everything is denied, B, is considered business income, everything's going to be taxed, and C, I feel like I've read this somewhere, if you've had losses, those losses would be denied in the TFSA. Whereas if you're day trading in your normal account, it would be accepted. So please be mindful of this, because it is so easy to get caught off guard with, the trading apps on your phone, stock boards, discords that are being created, where people talk about stocks every single day and follow the price movement every 5 minutes. So TFSA is not for that. Me personally, what am I doing with the TFSA? I am actually just investing in REITs. I invest in REITs. I invest in, ETFs that pay high dividends. And I just keep replowing that money inside. And, I watch it grow. I don't really try to mess around too much in the TFSA. Because, if you do get audited, then, you're on the radar and they will be checking up on you regularly. So those are the 3 tips. Know your limit. Do not invest in, penny stocks because they're not qualified investments. And 3, do not carry on a business in the TFSA. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment. This is a 1-edit video. There's no cuts. There's no, high quality production. It's just me after work. It's 9 p.m. I finished work at 9. I'm shooting this right now. It's 10 o'clock. But I think it's going to be really relevant for those of you who are going to start your TFSA in 2022 or who are thinking about it. So if you like what you're hearing, if you like what you see, please feel free to follow my channel. It would mean a lot to me. Hit the like button, leave a comment, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.